Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. Really co-creating at its best, yes? You are much more than you know. You are magnificent physical expression. We see you in your bodies, out here on the leading edge. Not the bleeding edge, the leading edge, the leading edge. Here to express yourself among so many others, to explore the variety and contrast, for the purpose of joy. But an inevitable consequence of that exploration of variety is that eternally new ideas and preferences and desires are born out of what you are living. And the non-physical part of you, which is the eternal part of you, the biggest part of you, certainly the longest, oldest part of you, in the moment that the new idea happens within you, even though you in your physical form are rarely anywhere near the vibration of the desire that is born, that contrast usually has you beating the drum of what you don't want pretty good. But when that desire is born, the non-physical part of you becomes immediately one with that desire. So the universe has expanded, and putting it in terms that humans like, the heavens rejoice, because the expansion has occurred, the inevitable expansion. In fact, a powerful reason that you wanted to come forth into this physical body was because you knew of the joyous nature of that expansion. Sometimes you feel it, don't you, when you get a new idea? Can you feel how that new idea almost breathes life into you? But if the new idea, which is life-giving in nature, because in the moment that source energy beholds the new idea that you have honed out of your experience, source energy becomes one with that new idea, and source begins drawing you toward it. And when you feel that calling and you follow it and you let yourself go with the natural flow toward the new idea, you feel fabulous. There is nothing more frisky feeling than that. There is nothing more exhilarating than that feeling of a new, fresh desire that source has become absolute one with, and you in the stream moving toward it. And do you know that all the time from where you are until the full manifestation, if you are in that flow, you will feel the sensational, exquisite perfection of life flowing through you. In other words, it hasn't manifested yet, but the idea is there, and the journey is joyous on your way to manifestation. Life just does not get better than that. And in fact, you knew it. It's why you came into this body, so that you could have just that life. However, if when that desire is born out of the contrast, you are still standing over there in the contrast, beating the drum of what's gone wrong, if you're still justifying to those other humans who surround you how much you need or want this new idea because how awful it feels over there in the absence of it, then you're not going with that flow, are you? In fact, you are not allowing, you are resisting that very flow. And that resistance feels awful. In fact, it feels so awful that you say, we know you do, we hear you. You say, I wish I didn't even want that. I wish it had never even occurred to me that I want that, because I'm so miserable now that I want it and don't have it. And we say, well, under those conditions, get used to your misery, because it can't come. And you can never stop wanting it either. Sort of a consequence of taking that leap into physical form. You said, I'll go where new ideas will be born within me because I know that the expansion of the universe is about exactly this. I'll go and I'll let new ideas be born within me. And when they are, I'll go with them, you said. And you not only said I'll go with them, you said it will be easy for me to go with them because I will hear the calling. Source will have already gone with them, and I will hear the vibration of Source beckoning me toward the new desire that I have given birth to. And so what might that feel like? Well, it might feel like love or appreciation or passion. It might feel like joy or exhilaration. It certainly would feel good. It feels good where we are. It feels good where Source is. It feels good where the new idea is now born and is now complete in terms of vibration. But your guidance system is giving you a reading on where you are in relationship to this new idea that you've given birth to. All of your emotions are about how much you in this physical body have come into alignment. If you want to move out from behind the pole, it is all right with us. That's Source calling. So the emotions that you feel are your indication of where you are in relationship to this new idea that has been born. In fact, you could say, and it would be accurate if you said it, that you, the largest part of you, has become something even more because of the contrast that you lived that caused you to know clearly what you don't want, so you know clearly what you do want. And that larger part of you has become what you now want. But the question is, where are you in your physical body, in your physical personality, in your physical ego, in your physical dialogue, in your physical beating of your drum? Where are you in relationship with the new desire? And you can tell by the way you feel whether you are up to speed with what you have become or whether you are resisting it in some way. So the emotions that you feel are very important to you, and people are beginning to understand this from a creation level. You have always known about emotions. In fact, of all of the things that we hear humans discuss, that's at the top of the list. I feel this way, or I feel this way, or I felt this way, or I felt this way. In other words, you have always been keenly aware of the way you feel, but we think you have not been quite so aware of what is the reason for the way you feel. Oh, you say, well, I know the reason that I feel bad is because something bad has happened. And we say, well, we would like to clarify that. The reason you feel bad is because you are giving your attention to the absence of something you want. And you say, well, yes, but how can I not give my attention to the absence of something I want when something bad has happened? When something is before me, how can I not feel bad? And we say, don't look at it. And you say, but how can I not look at something that is right in front of me? And we say, look someplace else. And you say, this is what you really say, but it's so much easier to look at this. We say, we know it is, because you've been activating a vibration, and law of attraction is surrounding you with things like that. So we know it's easier to look at what is right in front of you. It's easier to just turn on the television and watch what is given to you. Takes more effort to selectively sift. But when you care about how you feel, and when you remember that your emotions are telling you about these points of vibrational relationship, these points of vibrational relativity between where you are in this moment and who you really are and who you really have become, then you care more keenly about how you feel, because you want as much as you can to be vibrationally up to speed with the whole of that which you are. So we're going to explain briefly to you how it is that your guidance system works. And before we can really do that effectively, we have to remind you, some of you remember and some of you are on your way to remembering, that you are extensions of source energy. You are God force in physical bodies. You are pure positive energy expressing yourself here. And so that non-physical energy is a point of vibrational relativity. In other words, who you really are is always percolating in the background. It's the strongest vibrational rhythm of that which you are. So when your grandmother is adoring you and you are looking into her adoring eyes and she is inspiring you to the good feeling that that feeling of adoration brings to you, You are, in that moment, the physical part of you, so in vibrational sync with the non-physical part of you that you are essentially emitting one vibration. And that's why someone loving you feels so good. When you are holding someone as your object of attention and you are looking at the long list or the short list or even one short item on your list of something that you appreciate about that person, the reason that it feels so good is because in your appreciation, you are vibrationally up to speed with who you really are, and you are emitting one singular vibration. In other words, that is the epitome of energy balance, energy alignment, coming into alignment with who you are. So as you come into alignment with who you are, you feel so wonderful, and you feel emotions like love and joy and appreciation and passion and eagerness. Frisky, you're frisky. But when you feel fear or anger or despair, those emotions are indicating to you that you're giving your attention to something that is holding you in vibrational resistance to who you really are. You know that you cannot set your radio dial on 98.7 and expect to hear what's being broadcast on 98.9. In other words, the frequencies are that important. You have to set your tuner to the frequency of the transmitter if you are going to have clear connection. So we want you to remember that you are extensions of source energy, which is transmitting a signal of adoration, of liquid love, of appreciation. You are worthy. You are fulfilled. You are source energy in physical bodies. And when you know that, you're in line with your signal and you thrive. When you don't, then you don't thrive to the degree that you are focused upon things that hold you in resistance. So the way your guidance system works is that you can tell by the way you feel through this magnificent emotional guidance system the vibrational relationship between that strong signal that is always being beamed to you, which is who you are, and what you are doing with your active, conscious, creative mind in this moment. Now, some might say, well, Abraham, if Source is so good, so pure, so loving, so in love with self, then why do I have a different perspective? Why is not Source just blowing through me? And we say, well, Source is just flowing through you, but you came forth as a creator. You want to chew on the data. We promise you, you do not like being a puppet on a string. You would not, as much as Esther likes opening her vortex and allowing Abraham to rip through her in response to what you are asking, Esther wants to create her own reality. Esther does not want every hour of every day to be managed by the brilliance of Abraham. She wants to make her own mistakes. She wants to come to her own conclusions. It is satisfying to chew on the data. It is satisfying to conclude a new desire. And it is also satisfying to deliberately bring herself into vibrational alignment with that desire. So you said, I'll come forth into this physical body with a magnificent guidance system, and I'll bang around with others, and I will come to fresh, new, constant new conclusions and preferences and desires. And when I do, then I will work to bring myself into vibrational alignment with that new idea. And as long as I'm feeling good, I know that I'm on the track. So, vibrational relativity. Jerry and Esther have navigational systems in their vehicles, 4 different kinds now. But they all work on the same principle, that there is a computer inside the vehicle, and there are satellites in the sky, and antennas on their roofs, and they program in where they want to be, and the system develops a route between where they are, because the satellites have triangulated their current position and where they want to be. And then it gives them verbal, sometimes verbal and visual, description of how to get from where they are to where they want to be. Magellan never says, but where have you been? Because it is irrelevant. Magellan never says, well, you know, you asked yesterday and then you didn't listen, and so I'm not going to tell you today. This navigational system has only one function, and that is to figure out how to get from where you are to where you right now, currently, want to go. And your emotional guidance system is based upon those same 2 factors. Where am I in relationship to where I want to go?